Good day, I'm Dr. T and welcome to my dining room table. Today I'm talking about naming organic molecules. And to do this, let's just jump off. Once again, I'm using a little bit of a modified structure where I'm drawing carbons, but not the hydrogens for the most part. Okay, so let's draw a molecule and let's give it a name. So I've got a molecule, and this time I'm going to kick things up a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, so in this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 carbons, but I am not going to call this a heptane. No, this is still a hexane, because in this case, when I'm naming them, and in all cases I should say, when I get the name, that is the name of the longest continuous chain of carbons. It is not the name of the total number of carbons. Occasionally you will see naming where it's like hexanes or heptanes, when that S on the end means you're no longer really dealing with UPAC naming, and that those are dealing based on the molecular formula. It's a different way that industry describes them. They're going to be a mixture of molecules. We're not doing that. We're doing full UPAC here, and in this case, well, let's name this thing. So what I want to do first is find the longest chain. So that it's going to be pretty easy on this particular one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Okay. It's 6. So I know this is going to be a hexane. I have no doubles or triple bonds, so it's going to be A and E. And this is the part where I usually mess up, because chemical names, typically the important part's on the back, so that means we're writing going right to left, which is usually where you don't leave enough space for yourself. So let's see how much of a mess I make of this word. Okay, now what I need to do right now is tell you that there is a branch. This carbon coming off is called a branch. So the way I do that is the branch is going to end in YL. So instead of A and E, it's just going to be YL. Okay, now I need to tell you the size of the branch. This is 1 carbon, so I'm going to name it like it was a 1 carbon molecule, even though it's going to end in YL instead of A and E. And that is going to be meth. By the way, if you're thinking, hey, wait, doesn't that sound like an illegal street drug? Yeah, that particular illegal street drug does have a branch on it that's 1 carbon long, hence the name. Okay, last point. I need to tell you where it's at. Now, obviously, you know it's not on the end, because it wouldn't be a branch if it was, but that leaves that carbon, that carbon, that carbon, and that carbon. Okay, well, which one is it? Well, I'm going to number it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, pick the lowest number. Remember, it doesn't have to be going left to right. I happen to have drawn it, so it will be going left to right, but that's just because I'm an English speaker, and in English we typically start on the right. I mean the left. So, this will be a 3. 3-methylhexane. Hey, fairly straightforward. Let's go for another one. Okay, so in this case, we have a molecule. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, it's going to be another isomer. Okay, so I have, let's see, longest chain. 1, 2, 3. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, I have to check all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in reality, it doesn't matter if I go straight or go down. It's irrelevant. So next up, I'm just going to do the straight one. It doesn't have to be, though. So I'm going to do the straight one, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got a methyl group here, and, well, that looks hideous, and a methyl group there. So how am I going to do this? Well, for starters, let's name the chain. That's going to be pentane. Now, the functional group, or I should say the branch. That's going to be methyl again. So it's methyl, but there are 2 of them. So I need to tell you that there are 2 methyls. So I say dimethyl, and that squiggle's supposed to be a D. And I need to tell you where they're at. They are on the 2 and I use the comma to indicate that those 2 numbers are not, it's not a 23, it's a 2 and a 3. It's on this 2 and the 3rd carbon. So 2, 3 dash dimethylpentane. Fairly straightforward. Let's go for another one. Okay, so in this case, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've got 4 going no matter where I go. Well, that's a 3. So this is going to be butane. It's going to be methyl. It's going to be di, and they're on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're on the 3rd carbon, because in this case, I didn't draw the first carbon on the left side, I drew it on the right side, because I'm going by whichever one gets me the lowest number. It's the lowest first number you run into, typically. There's some interesting tie-breaking rules, etc., that I am not going to get into. Okay, so I've got a methyl group on the 2 carbon, and I have another one on the 2 carbon. Yes, you need to tell me that they are on the same carbon by saying 2,2-dimethyl. So it's not 2-dimethyl, it's 2,2. You got to tell me both carbons. Okay, so let's jump in for another one. And this guy I'm going to make a little bit on the longer side. Okay, so in this case I have 2 branches. Let's see, let's go for longest chain, because this is where sometimes they can hide and I've misdrawn them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's going to be 6. I actually have 2 choices. I could make this my longest chain and call this the branch, or I could make this the chain and call that the branch. Typically speaking, we're going to pick the one that gives us the kind of cleanest feel, the one that doesn't have branches with branches if possible. So I'm going to do the top one, since that's going to give me 2 nice small branches instead of this one forked branch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be hexane. Now, I know I'm going to have a branch, so I'm going to have the YL, but which one do I put? I've got a methyl group here and an ethyl group there. Well, I'm going to put them in alphabetical order. So this will be methyl, because M comes after E. That's methyl. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 2-methyl. And remember, when you're doing this, you're picking the lowest number. But once you have picked a pattern, once you've picked a side, it's always locked in. So if I had a methyl group over here and an ethyl group over there, I would not number them going different directions. I would either number one way or the other, whichever one's going to give me the lowest number. And once again, I'm not going to get into tiebreakers. Then I would have the ethyl. And then before that, I would have its location, the 3. And there's no spaces, that's just a little bit of extra space I've left. You don't actually put a space character there. They're just all crunched right up together. Okay, so there's the name for this guy. Fairly straightforward. And with that said, have a wonderful day. I'll jump into other functional groups in later videos.